Welcome to Sports from the Couch.
I gotta say, it's the stupidest thing in sports.
With your host, Mike Mercado.
Players cannot stand him. Coaches cannot stand him. Most importantly, the fans can't stand him.
Brought to you by Mercado Airwaves.
I'm gonna say it once, and hopefully I'm wrong, but it's a disaster waiting to happen.
That is so bad, that is absolutely brutal.
Hello and welcome into another edition of Sports from the Couch here on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. We want to thank you so much for making us a part of your day. It is week 14. It is Thursday, which means it is time to make our NFL confidence picks. Before we get to that, let's take care of some housekeeping notes. You can follow us all over the universe. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media. I'm on Instagram at Mike Mercado Media. And you can follow the show on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Like, rate, review, and shares wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. Become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. So home to our interviews, ad-free, and before anybody else with athletes and celebrities. You can get all that at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. It is the holiday season, and you could be the favorite relative by getting some awesome swag at teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. So let's get into our week 14 matchups in the NFL. Hopefully you guys are all having luck in your fantasy season, in your survivor pools, and in your confidence leagues. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day every single week when we make our picks in the NFL. And we start off this week with our 16 confidence points game with the Seattle Seahawks and the New York Jets. I'm putting 16 confidence points on the Seahawks. Obviously, the Jets are doing everything they can to see if they can get Trevor Lawrence between them and Jacksonville. Seattle needs to make sure that they hold on to that division lead in the NFC West. Honestly, Seattle is just so much better than a lot of teams in the NFL, let alone the worst team in the NFL. The Jets have no shining bright spot that you can really put your head on. So I'm going to go with Seattle on this one. Very easy for us this week. 16 confidence points on the Seahawks. I'm putting 15 confidence points on the Kansas City Chiefs over the Miami Dolphins. Now, Miami's playing really good. Somewhat good. Their defense, pretty impressive. Tua's been all right. Fitzmagic's been all right. They got some pieces. Myles Gaskins is coming back. Kansas City's going to be the favorite in almost every single matchup. And I told you guys, if you've been listening to us every single week, the last 14 weeks, that if KC is on a docket somewhere, I'm going to put a lot of points on them, and I'm going to pick them. You're going to have to upset me. It's going to have to be an upset special for you to beat Kansas City. And I don't see that right now. I didn't see it against the Raiders. I don't see that right now. So I'm going to go with KC over Miami in that matchup. With 14 confidence points, I'm going with the Green Bay Packers over the Detroit Lions. So this one is interesting. I think that Green Bay is okay. I think they're good, obviously. They're in the top of the division. But the real thing with Green Bay is Aaron Rodgers. You don't have to be listening to this show. ESPN, NBC, CBS, NFL Network, your favorite podcast, it does not matter. You know, as long as Aaron Rodgers is in the lineup and somewhat healthy, they have a chance to win. Now, when you're playing against a team like Detroit, who offensively, if they get Kenny Golladay back, and with TJ Hawkinson and Marvin Jones, and now you don't have Matt Patricia anymore, then I'm going to start assuming that you're going to be playing a little bit better, because we saw that with Detroit against the Bears just this past week. And we know how horrible of a loss that was for Chicago. But it was an impressive comeback from behind win for the Detroit Lions. And against a defense that may be on its tier going down, but it's still a good defense in the Chicago Bears. So I think this is going to be a much closer game, but I think Green Bay is just way better than them. And at the very least, if you're going to get into a shootout, I trust Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and Aaron Jones and Scantling and Lazard and Tanya much more than I do what they have in Detroit. But I think it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I'm going to go with Green Bay. I'm putting 14 confidence points on them to win that matchup. I'm putting 13 confidence points on New Orleans over the Eagles. So it looks like the Carson Wentz era is over for the Eagles and Carson Wentz. Will he be coming to Chicago? Where will he be going? Will it be Dallas? So many different location scenarios. But for this week specifically, New Orleans just looks like they're getting right. And Hill is playing a little bit better at quarterback every single game. You're one game closer to Drew Brees. I think this defense needs to get right. They can use this type of game to get right. But if you go off and Hill throws a couple touchdowns, maybe a touchdown to Michael Thomas and lets Alvin Kamara just go off, that seems kind of like the game plan, right? Kamara has like 12 touches and 70 yards and has like 7 catches for 80 yards and has a touchdown. And like that seems like the kind of game he's going to have. So I'm definitely going with the Saints over the Eagles, and I'm putting 13 confidence points in that matchup. I have the Cardinals and the Giants with 12 confidence points going with Arizona in that matchup. The Giants, surprising, right, between them and Washington. And, Dallas really didn't hang around too much with Baltimore, but Washington and New York, very interesting. Horrible division in the NFC least. I mean the NFC East. But, wins a win. And all you can ask for is to get into the playoffs. So the Giants are playing for their playoffs life, but they don't have Daniel Jones. And I'm a big Longhorns fan. Hook 'em horns. I love Colt McCoy. But you want Daniel Jones out there. Wayne Gallman's been playing really good, and, Sterling Shepard, and there's some pieces there. Evan Engram. But if you're asking me without Saquon and without an okay defense, you're asking for a lot for this New York team, even if they only need to win 6 games to win the NFC East. So then you go to Arizona. Arizona's just trying their best to hang on, to be relevant, to try to get to that last playoff spot. It's hard when you're playing in the best division in football. But I love what Arizona has. I like Kenyon Drake. I like Chase Edmonds. Kyler Murray is obviously a superstar in the making, MVP in the making. DeAndre Hopkins, top 3 receiver in the NFL. So, there's a lot to like about Arizona. We'll see if maybe they can put some pieces together on defense, make sure Kyler Murray stays healthy, and all of a sudden, this is a team that can make some real headway in its own right. Could be a Seattle-esque type team if they can just solidify a couple pieces. Do I think long-term they're going to win anything? Not right now, but maybe legitimately long-term they can. But for just this week, a nice matchup, even though the Giants are playing well, go with the Cardinals. I'm putting 12 confidence points on the Cardinals in that matchup. In a very fun divisional rivalry matchup that we're getting this week, I'm interested in the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm putting 11 confidence points on the Titans winning this matchup. Again, in a division matchup, when you're playing at the underdog's home, I think it's very foolish to assume that the division leader or the team that's the better team of the two is going to go in there and just stampede over them. We know this is going to be a close game. I think at least that this is going to be a very close game. Jacksonville has an awesome running game. They have some special receivers. They don't have a real good quarterback, but they have a quarterback that's been in the league. And he can, he's bad. But at least I think it'll be interesting because they're not just laying over for people compared to some other teams in the NFL, or at least the other bad teams in the NFL. Tennessee needs this win. And I don't say that because it's a must win. Win the games that you're supposed to. If you're a legit contender, Ryan Tannehill needs to have a good game. Derrick Henry needs to go off. I want to see Corey Davis and A.J. Brown get their stuff right. Jonnu Smith, get healthy. There's a lot of weapons with Tennessee. Tennessee can be dangerous. Their defense is bad. So, again, it's a get-right game. Perfect scenario for them, except for it being a divisional matchup on the road. I'm still going with 10. I don't have more confidence in them. That's why I only put 11 on it, because it's a division matchup on the road. But still, go with the Titans in that game. I'm putting 10 confidence points on the Rams over the Patriots on Thursday Night Football. So, the Rams, better team than New England. Okay, so easy peasy lemon squeezy, as the kids say. But Bill Belichick is a monster. We've seen it. We saw what we did to poor Justin Herbert. We saw it. This is a guy that knows how to game plan against quarterbacks. And unfortunately for you Rams fans, unfortunately for you Rams managers, when you have some guys like Kupp or Woods or Goff or Henderson or Brown or Akers, unfortunately for you this week, I think Bill Belichick does have a good game plan. I think it's close, but talent wins. And this is a team that, unlike, let's say, a Justin Herbert, who's never been anywhere, these Rams have been places. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've seen the scrutiny. They've done it all. They've done it against this team. Well, a version of this New England team. So I think it's going to be very, very interesting to see the game plan towards Jared Goff and how Sean McVay and Bill Belichick go off in a matchup against each other in this sense. Going with the Rams still, 10 confidence points. Put it on LA. With 9 confidence points, I'm going with the Tampa Bay Brady's. That's right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the Minnesota Vikings. This is one where, what Vikings team are you getting? How important of a game is this for Tampa Bay? Will Tampa Bay's defense be able to keep Jefferson in check, Adam Thielen in check, Dalvin Cook in check? It's all about Kirk Cousins. There's a really good Tampa Bay defense, especially that rush. Can Tom Brady get the ball down the field? Can he get it out of his hands? Can he get it to his playmakers? If he does, this should be an easy win for Tampa Bay. I still have to be shown by Tampa Bay that they are a smart football team. They're a competent football team, that they can handle pressure situations. Because there's been times where they haven't. There's been times where they've exceeded their expectations. But for the most part, I think it's been lackluster. You have to win this game. You have to put Minnesota away if you're in the NFC. Don't give them any opportunity to have any type of life to make a playoff run. Even if it's not within a division win, you still don't want to play them and have them come to your home. Because they do have weapons that could just break a game wide open. And then a running game that could completely shut you out the rest of the way through. That's why if you're Tom Brady and you're Tampa Bay and you're Bruce Arians, nice win this week and you get eliminated NFC foe. I like Tampa Bay in this matchup. Going to be interesting. The one thing that's frustrating if you are a manager of any talent that comes out of Tampa Bay, they're always banged up. There's always that opportunity or that chance that they might just be a little bit hurt, which always is just a frustrating thing. But without a doubt, they have all the talent. So with that, 9 confidence points on the Buccaneers over Minnesota. Oh, man. With 8 confidence points, I'm going with the Texans over the Bears. I'll never forgive Ryan Pace for not drafting Deshaun Watson. I'll say it to the face is blue. There's no excuse for it. Some people, yes, I understand. Some people had Mitch Trubisky rated higher. You outthought yourself. You try to be too cute. You try to be the smartest man in the room. You overthought it, and you got the wrong guy. Didn't even try him out. Didn't do any type of interview. Just completely snoozed on it. And now he gets to come to the stadium he should be playing in, be calling home. And after the last 7 weeks that this man has had, is going to do what Matt Stafford was able to do. You're lucky Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins aren't on this team right now. I still think Houston wins. They're just more talented. And they have a better rush. Their defense is playing better, quote unquote. That's how bad the Bears defense has been playing. I think this is a show me game. And sorry guys, unfortunately, the Bears picked wrong, and they're going to pay for it this week. I'm going with the Houston Texans and 8 confidence points in that matchup. I have 7 confidence points on the Colts over the Raiders. Again, what Raiders team do you get? Is Phillip Rivers going to be healthy enough to play? Is this team, are we getting a good T.Y. Hilton? What version of T.Y. Hilton are we getting? Which running back are we going to get that's going to get the carry of the game? I mean, Indianapolis is frustrating too because they have all it takes to win a Super Bowl if it wasn't for Kansas City right in front of them. But Phil Rivers 5 years ago, this is a no-brainer. But is he the detriment to this team? And I mean that facetiously. Like, obviously, they're a good team and he's helped them. But could you imagine a San Diego Chargers version of Phillip Rivers on this team? It'd be phenomenal. But I would like to see some more from those specialty players, from those athletic positions when it comes to wide receiver and from running back to help them out. But that defense has sure as hell helped them out. But I'm going with 7 confidence points on the Colts over the Raiders. Again, I don't know what Raiders team we're getting. So what about this for a heavyweight matchup? And I'm putting 6 confidence points on the winner of this one. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills. I am picking Pittsburgh in this matchup. Is it too much, too fast for Josh Allen? I guess that can't be true in the NFL nowadays if you want to win a Super Bowl. You got to be able to do it on your rookie contract. We've seen the Bills show up in some big games this season. Very impressive. Josh Allen has taken a big step. I don't like all of his decision-making. But again, how old is he, 23? And you're asking him to do all of this? Simply, it's this simple. The battle-tested Pittsburgh Steelers against the high-expectation young Buffalo Bills. What do you think is going to happen in this game? How do you think this is going to play out? I'm going with Pittsburgh in this matchup, but I'm putting 6 confidence points in it. Continuing on with the NFC North, how about a very fun matchup? All the implications in the world. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. This is a chance for Baker Mayfield to solidify himself as a legitimate quarterback, a legitimate leader, Somebody we all see beyond just commercials and hype. Lamar Jackson, huge week last week. Could come back, beat a division rival, beat a team that has an awesome record, and solidify yourself once again as not a flash in the pan. And take your team from the depths of COVID hell into a playoff position. That's what's on the line in this matchup. And because of that, and because it's in Cleveland, I'm putting 5 confidence points on the Baltimore Ravens winning that matchup. With 4 confidence points, it is Washington. It is San Francisco in Arizona. I have San Francisco in the upset in this one. I think Washington, Alex Smith, comeback player of the year. Awesome for them against Pittsburgh, taking away that undefeated streak. San Francisco, Mike Shannon, right? I guess Michael Shannon would be the actor. Shanahan has done a great job of getting the best out of his talent and the running game, although what happened with Mustard and, again, craziness. San Francisco's going to win this game. I think they're more offensively talented. You know, McLaurin is really good for Washington. I don't think that we're going to get Gibson playing. So Antonio Gibson not playing, like, that's a big thing. Like, that hurts Alex Smith. San Francisco, like, Deebo Samuel and, you know, if they get George Kittle back, like, we'll see. I think he's off the IR not this week, but next week. So something to keep our eye on. But I'm going with San Francisco in that matchup. In an upset special, I would say. 3 confidence points. It is Dallas and Cincinnati. Oh, man, this was a game that was going to be on primetime television and got flexed out. Who would have thought, huh? Cowboys getting flexed out. Dallas, because they're a more complete team right now. Who knows who's going to be at running back for Cincinnati? You don't have Joe Burrow. Don't have an offensive line. Don't have a defense. Go with Dallas in this one. I'm only putting 3 confidence points in it. Whatever. We have 2 confidence points on the Denver Broncos versus the Carolina Panthers. I don't think Christian McCaffrey is going to play this week. I think his season is done. With that, Denver looks to be okay with Drew Lock, and if they have an actual starting NFL quarterback, Tim Patrick's an awesome receiver. He's just not getting the love because his name is Tim Patrick. So I'm going with the Denver Broncos on that one. And finally, I'm putting 1 confidence point on this upset. I think this is an upset. I'm going with the LA Chargers over the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons are always due for a little hot streak that ruins their chances at a good draft pick. They've already done that. The LA Chargers have a rookie quarterback that had a little too easy of a run, met a real NFL coach that gets the worst out of every one of these rookie quarterbacks. He's going to have a bounce back. Keenan Allen's going to have a huge game. Austin Eckler's going to have a huge game. I'm going with the LA Chargers in that matchup. And with that, let's run these bad boys back down before kickoff of Thursday Night Football here on Sports from the Couch on Mercado Airwaves. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for making us a part of your Week 14 as we make our NFL confidence points. And we start off with 16 confidence points. I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks over the New York Jets. I'm putting 15 confidence points on the Kansas City Chiefs over the Miami Dolphins. 14 confidence points on Green Bay over Detroit. I'm putting 13 confidence points on the Saints over the Eagles. 12 confidence points on the Cardinals over the New York Giants. 11 confidence points on the Titans over the Jaguars. 10 confidence points on the Rams over the New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football. 9 confidence points on Tampa Bay against the Minnesota Vikings. I have 8 confidence points on Houston beating the Chicago Bears. On Deshaun Watson and his Houston Texans beating the Chicago Bears. 7 confidence points on Indy over Vegas. 6 confidence points on the Steelers beating Buffalo in a heavyweight matchup. I have 5 confidence points in Baltimore over Cleveland in the most interesting matchup of the week. 4 confidence points on San Francisco beating Washington after Washington had a huge win last week. 3 confidence points on Dallas over Cincinnati in the best game of the season. 2 confidence points on the Denver Broncos beating the Carolina Panthers. And 1 confidence points on the Chargers upsetting the Atlanta Falcons. That is our picks for Week 14 in the NFL. Let us know, who do you think is going to win? Who gets upset? And are there any big moments that you need to happen? How is it going to play out? Did you make your fantasy playoffs? Did you win your Survivor League? How is your pool going at the office? Let us know all of these things on Twitter at Mike and Media, Instagram, Mike Mercado Media, and the show's on Twitter at Couch Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, rate, review, and share us wherever you get your favorite podcast at Mercado Airwaves. You become a producer of the show at patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves, the home to our interviews with athletes and celebrities that you get ad-free and before anybody else. That's patreon.com/Mercado Airwaves. We have swag, guys, just in time for the holiday season. That's teespring.com/Mercado Airwaves. Thank you so much. Enjoy the games. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We will see you next time here on Sports from the Couch on the Mercado Airwaves Network. I'm Mike Mercado.